But honestly, like a headshot is a very personal thing. You have to have a say in it. So I would say that puts a lot of people at ease knowing they immediately see it. So
Absolutely.
that's a huge thing.
Wow, you're so sweet. You like literally kind of gain their
I
trust
care.
by. Yeah, you do.
You
You
know,
do.
another.
Hey, cakers, bakers, and sweet treat makers, do I have a treat for you? Today I'm here with my friend Robert Martin of headshotsLongIsland.com, and he's going to give us some tips and tricks on getting a really good headshot.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
So, you're a photographer out here in Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of our locals over here. He's in a town over from me in Garden City, New York. Headshots. Why headshots?
Why do I do headshots?
Yeah.
You know what? The area that I'm located in, there's just so much opportunity over here, and I enjoy photographing people, so it just works out great.
Fabulous. So this area, if you didn't know, it's full of lawyers and courthouses,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of realtors, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So you saw kind of like a void in the market and you filled it.
So I was here anyway, and I have this great studio, and I felt like I just wanted more people in the studio consistently. So offering this was just a really nice thing for that. So.
Fabulous. So this is just basically part of the menu of the other things that you offer,
Yeah,
right?
so I offer a lot of different things. I have a photo booth company, I do weddings, I do events. So this is kind of just one version of the other broader stuff that I do, photo,
Okay.
video.
So you're a photographer and a cinematographer,
I am.
correct?
That is correct, yeah.
So what do you film?
So I pretty frequently shoot weddings on the weekend. I want to make some movies coming up, but right now I'm just focused on this kind of stuff. So.
That's fabulous. I mean, we all have to pay our bills.
We do.
Right?
Yes, we do. Yep.
Let's go into your journey.
Okay,
You
sure.
weren't always a photographer.
No.
How'd you get here?
So I got into photography by going to school, film school, and at the time the cameras were transitioning. So cameras that used to be used just for just for photo, you were then able to shoot movies on. So I learned, in order to shoot movies, I actually learned photo cameras. So because I knew that, I was then able to offer photo. So it kind of led one thing to the next.
What do you think that transition actually did for the photography and film industry? Because I know people who've actually studied photography and went into filming just to pay for the photography because they couldn't get the gigs. You kind of did the opposite.
So I would say it upended things. It definitely gave more opportunity. It gave me the ability to start a business. So it used to be video gear. It still is expensive, but it used to be a lot more expensive. And to have a high quality image for an affordable price really allowed people like me to start their career.
Fabulous. So you're basically doing, I wouldn't call it a side hustle, but it's definitely part of your menu of things that you offer,
So
right?
video, right? Video?
Right,
Yeah,
video.
I mean, it used to be the main thing I offered, but the photo thing has just, when you do something for a long time, you like to switch it up a little. So I still do video often, but lately, the last couple of years, I'm really into photo. So.
Awesome, fantastic, and we're thankful for it.
Thank you.
So you started Headshots Long Island,
Mhm.
okay? So you must get a variety of questions. Tell me, like, what are the top questions that you get all the time?
So for the headshots, people always want to know, where should I put my hands? That's a big one. They want to know what they should wear.
Yeah.
Kind of any other helpful suggestions they ask, but those are the two main ones. So for the hand question, I always tell them, your hands aren't in the photo, so it doesn't really matter. That's number one. And then as far as what not to wear, just a lot of patterned things that could be distracting. Because I always say a headshot should show your personality. That's what people want to see in the headshot, your face. They don't really want to see, it's not about what you're wearing typically. So.
Right, so it's called a headshot because they are taking a
It's
picture.
about your face, yeah.
Right, of your face. So your hands, whatever.
Yep.
Why is that? Like, why do people want to see a headshot versus a full body shot for some reason?
I would say it's, again, this is just my opinion about the personality aspect of it. So it's also the way these social media sites are set up. It's a very tiny box. So that typically needs to be front and center. And especially for something like LinkedIn, which is a networking tool, people just at a glance, it's your online profile. So they don't need to see you head to toe or on a fishing boat or, I've seen a lot of that stuff. A lot of those people come in and get headshots because they need it,
Right.
A lot of people actually require a headshot now with applications. Like if you're submitting to, last month, a lot of doctors, medical students were coming in. So it's actually a requirement to have a professional headshot. So, yeah.
Interesting. So, like, even doctors,
Yeah,
realtors,
everybody.
lawyers. But these are different headshots, right? In comparison to actor headshots?
Yeah, I would say you could use this headshot for anything, but I would say the intent is different. Actors typically want to show more of a variety of looks. Then an outfit might come into play, and then sometimes it's more than just the face. It might be like a little lower.
Okay.
They just want to see different facial expressions and different looks. Where a headshot, like a standard headshot for like LinkedIn, I would say just your best personality pick. So if you're more of like a serious person, give that, neutral expression. Or if you're happy and smiley, that would be the way to go. Just show yourself. That's really it.
So if you're like a judge, you really shouldn't do like the goofy kind of.
Probably not. I don't think so.
Hold on to your spatulas. It's time for the Quick Mix Q&A.
Okay, my name is Robert Martin. My business is Headshots Long Island.
Your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Your favorite song?
Favorite songs, too many to list.
Your favorite season?
I would say the spring.
Your favorite dessert?
I don't have a favorite dessert. I like them all.
What's your least favorite dessert?
I'm not a big chocolate person.
Early bird or night owl?
I am a night owl.
Coffee or tea?
I'm definitely a coffee person.
Zodiac sign?
Libra.
And your favorite pro tool?
My favorite pro tool, I would just say any kind of camera.
How did you get into photography?
So I got into photography by actually going to school for filmmaking, and that kind of just started everything off for me.
And if you weren't a photographer, what would you be?
If I was not a photographer, I would probably do something with music.
Describe your first photos.
My first photos were definitely not good. Didn't really know how to use the camera at that time.
Can you describe that?
So as to what I took,
Yeah.
it was just, I took a photography course and they required me to take certain requirements. It was of my dog, and I just did not do a good job.
What do you want your legacy to be?
My legacy? That's a big question. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to help people. That would be my legacy.
So the difference between like these Instagrammable, I guess, selfies versus a headshot, I mean, professionally speaking, what kind of impact can it actually make to have a real headshot versus doing one of those?
I would say perceived professionalism. I would say having a real headshot shows that, not that you don't care if you don't have a real headshot, but it depends your field. I would say if you're an attorney especially, and you have a selfie that looks like a selfie, it just doesn't represent you to your best, I would say. So having a real professional headshot, it shows that you care in a way that, and you don't need many of them. You could have that headshot at least for a year minimum. Even if you're not doing it every year, keep them updated. I would say you don't want a headshot from 10 years ago if you don't look like that anymore. So make sure that it's relevant. Make sure that it's still what you look like. And sometimes you just want a new headshot just to switch it up. Maybe you cut your hair and you want to show that, They're affordable enough that it's not, especially the way that I do things, it's not like a huge process. You come in, you get your shot taken, you get it back quickly. You're not here for an hour and a half, so there's options with that. So I do offices as well. So I'll go and I'll photograph on location. A lot of the time your companies will pay for headshots, so take advantage of the opportunity. Even if you have a nice headshot, if they're hiring someone like me, take the shot. You probably will like it, so take advantage of that.
Okay, so we have culinary professionals
Mhm.
watching us today, and you guys are probably asking, well, I don't really like my chef coat, or I don't like what I look like in my chef coat, or should I pose in a kitchen? Should I pose in a white background? What is the deal? Should I bring in my mixer? What do I do? What do you suggest?
So, it would fall outside of the realm of a headshot at that point. I would say it becomes more of like a lifestyle shot. Which is great. I love those. I personally like those. A headshot, I would say it's just your face and shows your personality. A lifestyle shot would be great for a website, for instance. That's where you would maybe put on the coat and have some props and almost like Martha Stewart magazine style. I love those. I think those are better for like a website. Those are great. You know, those are cool. Because anytime you could show, especially if you're your own brand, show it. That's the way to show it. Have a photographer come on in to your place of work and maybe get some natural shots of you in your element.
Awesome. Now let's talk about costs.
Sure.
Because as artists, as crafters, we're also known as do-it-yourselfers. Let's be honest. So we're looking at you, and maybe we look at your work and we say, we could do it ourselves, and we don't get the lighting right, and which is probably the biggest deal, or the camera doesn't give you high res, or whatever the case is. Give us like a breakdown. How affordable is this?
Well, I can only speak for myself. A single shot, we have options that start at $99. I would say that's a great investment, especially if you break it down. Like I said, you maybe only need one shot per year. It pays for itself. I mean, it's really affordable, and that's why I offer that package. If you wanted to do more of a stylized session where I come to your location, it will increase in price. But we have options around like the $350 range, so it's worth it. It's a worthwhile investment. I would say view it as like if you're just starting up, startup cost, you know, that could bring you business. That's the thing. Don't do anything that's not going to bring you business. That's not wise. But I know people want to, if you're on a website and you're trying to hire somebody specifically, you want to see what they look like. And having the best possible shot of that person will help you. It will not work against you. Where the other way is true, if you have a crummy shot, it's just not going to do you any favors. It might actually harm you. They're like, this guy, look at this shot. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that. So.
Absolutely. You just led us into the next question. It's like you read my mind.
Oh, okay.
So what benefits do you get from having a good headshot?
Well, I would say, like, just to reiterate the point, it will never work against you. At most, you don't want to give people a reason to not hire you.
Right.
So having just a nice, clean, professional, neutral online presence is wonderful. People get to see what your face looks like and a little bit about who you are. I would say couple the headshot, depending where you're posting it, with text. A little blurb about yourself, and that's pretty typical. So.
That's a great tip. You must know a lot about this.
I do this. Do it on the daily.
How long have you been doing this anyways?
Headshots in particular?
Yeah.
So I actually launched this business, Headshots Long Island, 1.5 years ago. And I've always photographed, so it's not outside of the wheelhouse, but with the focus on headshots about 1.5 years ago.
That's fabulous. That's amazing. I mean, and it sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Thank you. I hope so.
Let's see what else we can get into. You've answered a lot of questions, mister. Wow. Okay, here's a good one. What is a good headshot? What elements are in a good headshot?
Well, I'll just say it again, personality. That would be it. So when someone comes in here and, because everyone says, what do I do? Most people are not professional actors. They're not people who are familiar with being in front of the camera. So they like to ask, like, what do I do? That's really the first question I get. So I try to make everybody comfortable, and I really emphasize that point. Don't fixate on imperfections. So some people come in here and they're very worried. They're like, I don't look as good as I used to. Whatever. It's a real thing. That's the only reason I bring it up. So for me, I do retouching on every picture, and I feel like it's important because everyone benefits from a little bit of retouching. The way that I do it, I keep it natural. So you're going to look like yourself, but I'll remove if you have blemishes or anything. So I would say for what I recommend, I'm like, don't get so fixated on imperfections. Just recognize that it's important that you show your personality. So that's the number one thing. Everything else kind of gets taken care of after.
Okay, so Rob will take care of you
I
and
will.
make you look
Superstar.
the best that you've ever looked.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
True. It's absolutely true.
It's the best you.
It's natural. Like, when I do my job correctly, which thankfully I do, you're not going to really tell that I photoshopped you. Because you don't want to because if you don't look like that in person and people meet you, that's a telltale sign. Yeah, you want it to look realistic, so.
Yeah, so like if you get like one of those tender pictures and it's just what?
Somebody else, yeah.
It's not even you.
Yep. So I would say just natural posing, focused on your personality. That's it.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Like, if you tell me natural posing, like this is what you're gonna get. Like, what's a natural pose? Like, what is
For
a
you,
good
what's
professional-
natural for you? So it's whatever your personality is. That's why there's not a one size fits all. Like for me, my job is for you to come in, to go in the right lighting, to get photographed by a professional camera, to get professionally retouched. So what I mean by that is when you're standing here, you're going to have a couple different options. I'm going to photograph you at different angles. You get to see the pictures. So if I need to make any alteration, you're going to leave here feeling happy. You'll immediately look and you're like, I don't like this side. I think I look better facing straight on. These are things that you have control over. So you're going to look and you'll immediately tell. People know what they look like. So you'll see a photo and you're like, that's not my right side. I don't like that. And then you get to pick. We keep working, at least the way that I do things, you keep working until you're happy. So.
Oh, that's so cool. He'll be here forever with me then.
Get out.
Like, okay, I gotta go home. I'm hungry. Okay, we went over that too. Body shot. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna push you even further. If you like literally get somebody who comes in who's super nervous, maybe a little too hyped up on coffee, and they like literally don't know what to do with themselves. We know you've explained to us that we're doing a headshot, so we could just put our hands in our pockets if they want to, or whatever it is, whatever makes them feel comfortable. But how do you coach them along so that they can pose so that they're happy with the photo?
Sure. So I think a big thing is knowing that they're going to see the picture beforehand. So when I'm taking a picture, it's going to pop up on the screen. So every picture I take, you have the opportunity to review it. The reason that's important is you're not going to be disappointed later when, say I delivered it to you after, and then you left it solely up to me to edit your photo. At that point, I would be guessing. I would be using my professional opinion, but honestly, like a headshot is a very personal thing. You have to have a say in it. So I would say that puts a lot of people at ease knowing they immediately see it.
Absolutely.
So that's a huge thing.
Rob, you're so sweet. You like literally kind of gain their trust.
I care.
Yeah, you do.
You know,
do.
another thing too, like it helps avoid any disappointment from them, because if you see your picture and you're really not happy, at least in the spot, we can actually take some more pictures. So that's really helpful.
Rob, you didn't take any psychology classes or anything like that?
Liberal arts. So we'll see. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's really thinking ahead, because you're servicing your client.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At the end of the story, you're kind of giving them confidence.
Yeah, 100%. Because another thing for me specifically, I will not rush anyone out of here. Our appointments take between 10 to 30 minutes, depending on the package that you book. And because I know it's an important decision, I let you can't see them, but there's chairs there. You could sit in those chairs, really review the pictures. And then I always tell everyone, if you need me to take more pictures, I will. So.
Awesome. So this is something you can it really doesn't take that long. So you can just kind of make an appointment with Rob, email him, and just come here on a lunch hour?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 10 minutes. And I would say know the reason you're getting the headshot. So I have people come in for dating sites. I have people come in for just as a variety. You know, anyone that needs a picture for themselves. My most common clients are people who need it for work, for social media, for applications, but we do passports. There's just so many uses, but I would say the number one is for some kind of online presence. That's it. It's very versatile, and you could see the backdrop there. We could do an all-white backdrop or a gray are the most popular ones. We offer everything by request, but the most standard are an all-white or a gray for a backdrop.
How do you choose the right backdrop for yourself?
Well, know where it's going to end up. A lot of people use these for their business card. Business cards are typically white, but if yours is a different color, factor that in. I would say all white backdrops are the most universal. You're used to seeing them. Like if you start looking at people's headshots, you may recognize like, oh, okay, that's on an all white backdrop.
Right.
And you'll see it's just, you could use it anywhere. It's really versatile like that.
How about if you're doing like you said, a lifestyle shoot, and you do like
Yeah.
a urban look, and you're doing it on a brick wall or something like that? Do you recommend doing that outside?
Outside, well, outdoors is great. It just depends on the day. depends on the location. It depends on the lighting. The studio definitely has its own look. You could control the lighting in here. Outdoors is great if you're doing a lifestyle shot and there's a reason you need to be outside. Sometimes with actor headshots or dating shots, we'll go outside because it just gets you out of the studio environment. But for a regular corporate headshot, the studio is typically the way to go. I would say just that the expected look.
Okay, not that we're anti-corporate because a lot of us came from corporate to go to culinary. Do you, in your division, would you say that we're more of a corporate because it's a business?
I would say your field specifically would probably benefit from a lifestyle a little bit more. Once again, it just depends on where it's going to end up, what you're trying to accomplish. You know, especially for I have an express headshot package. That's one shot, one retouched. That's it. That will never hurt you. You could use it for everything. But if you're having a website and you're trying to build your personal brand, it's a worthy investment to have someone like me come on to your location, get some shots of you in the kitchen or wherever, you know. Those are great. Those are great pictures. They're nice to have. So there's no one size fits all. The only thing I recommend is have some kind of professional headshot, whether it's just the LinkedIn shot or something a little more stylized.
Rob, what are some ideas that you can give somebody before they're coming in? Maybe some poses they can practice in the mirror just so they can get used to it.
Sure. So once again, know where the shot's going to end up. Know what you're trying to accomplish with it. I think that's really the number one thing when it comes to getting a headshot. So everyone looks better at certain angles. That's just how it is. So I tend to photograph everyone at multiple angles. So if you come in here, typically you'll do the straight on shot, look right at the camera. And from there, we kind of turn you a little bit. Those are the most popular options. So look in the mirror, turn a little bit, see what you look like, and have an idea. Yeah.
Okay, so basically maybe find your good
You know what?
side.
Sometimes it's hard for people to recognize that. So that's where someone like me who does this on a daily comes in. And also when we take the picture, then you see it. And if you have questions, we could show you and I could give you my opinion. But at least on your own, you could have some idea. Like, hey, do you think I look better straight on? And, yeah, try it out.
Okay, so not everybody knows their good side.
No, not everyone knows their good side.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. But you're able to help them identify it.
Yeah, everyone has. Sometimes people have different opinions of what their good side is too. So I'm silent on all that stuff unless it serves the purpose of the picture.
See, I'm thinking here, I'm very excited because he's saying lifestyle and we have a new kitchen. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get him into my kitchen. Put on both mixers at the same time just so I can show off. But how about if you don't have the nicest kitchen that you really like? Do you have any recommendations on that?
Well, if you don't have the nicest kitchen, there's often a lot that we can do. I would say focus more on a prop. Stand in front of a cake, stand in front of, it doesn't have to be like a huge wide shot. It could just be like, I would say a headshot just focuses like from here up.
Okay.
So anything more than that falls, in my opinion, outside of the realm of a headshot.
Okay.
So that being said, you could do even just like the waist up, but have some baked goods next to you, whatever you're doing.
Right. Okay. He's given us so much to play with. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
You're
Rob.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate your tips.
Hey, hope you've enjoyed this episode of Caker's Chat. If you have a question or two, don't let it stew. Comment below and let us know. Hey, and give us a hug with a thumbs up and subscribe. Catch you on the next episode of Caker's Chat.